Hello YouTube, Dave here again. I just wanted to do a quick update video. I just want to talk about some things that are going to be happening with the channel, as well as just show off a few things that I've ended up picking up over the course of the last month or so. So the first thing I want to do is get the updates out of the way and kind of let people know what's going to be going on over the next little bit. I do want to finally get to record my series of videos for Tales from the Yawning Portal. I want to look over the individual adventures and kind of review each of them on their own merits. So that's something I'm still looking to do, and I'm looking to have the first couple of those videos out about a week from the time that I upload this video. And if not two of them, I'm at least going to get the Sunless Citadel review out, and I will be reviewing them in the order that they are in the books. So that is something that I am still working on. Things have been a little bit crazy, or a little bit busy in my personal life. One of the things that I ended up actually starting was to run a second D&D campaign, which is every 2 weeks. So the Curse of Strahd one is monthly, although it's been a couple months now since the last time we actually did get together. So I'm hoping to have a session of that really soon. But I've also started another one with a different group that's every 2 weeks, and that one is I'm running the Rage of Demons campaign. And it is cursed me that I completely forgot to do a full review of Out of the Abyss. I just did first impressions, so that's something I'm hoping to correct in the next week or so as well. In addition to that, I'm also looking to start running the D&D Adventurers League out of Giant Robot Comics in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. So I talked to the owner there, and on May 14th, I think around noon if I recall correctly, I'll be running that there. We don't know how successful it's going to be at this point, so I'm going to be running the Lost Mine of Phandelver adventure from the starter set to start off with over the course of a few weeks, and if people are interested in it, then that's great. And if it builds up from there, then we can start looking at purchasing adventures from DM's Guild. But for now, I'll be running that, and hopefully that'll get off the ground. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. As far as things like well, actually, before I get to that, another project that I'll be doing over the next little while. A couple of them actually. The first one is I want to go and redo my collection video. So when I first started the channel, the first two videos that I did, and technically half of the third video that I did, was just showing off my collection of D&D stuff. And I think I could do a better job of it. They were my first few videos. The camera that I was using isn't as good as the one I have now. There was a point where I didn't realize it, but my finger had covered over the microphone, so I had to go back and record voiceover on the things that got muted out, which happened a couple of times actually. But I just want to go back and redo that. I mean, I've added a lot of things to the collection since then. A couple of them I'm going to be showing off here today, but I also want to expand out a little bit from just the role-playing books. So I just maybe want to give viewers, subscribers, a chance to know a little bit more about me in terms of things that I like, what I watch, what I listen to. So I'm looking to include some videos where I show off some of the excuse me, CDs that I own, some of my DVDs, my books, novels, video games that I have, including like digital downloads, physical games, like magazines, comics, and kind of wrap it up with my updated D&D collection. So I think it'll be a chance to sort of get to know, like I said, get to know me a little bit better, get a better idea of some of the things I'm interested in beyond just Dungeons and Dragons. The second project is I received a message from the creator of the GDR channel, which I had done a recommendation video for a little while ago. And she wanted to do a series of videos where it's like sort of like a Q&A type of thing, answering common questions about role-playing, the hobby, the way it's perceived, things along those lines. So I'm going to be recording answers to a pretty decently sized questionnaire over the next few days as well. And once that's all done, once I've got them all recorded, I'm going to send them over to her. She'll edit them and put them into her video. So once that's available, I'll do an update and have a link to it, probably on my Facebook page or my Twitter account. And like I said, I'll probably do a quick update video as well, just saying that it's out, and you can watch it here. Which kind of leads into the last sort of update thing I want to talk about before I show off. Just a few things that I picked up over the last little bit. So, recently I launched a Patreon page, and I did a video where I talked about how I was hoping to get anywhere from $50 to $100 a month. So I actually reached the goal of $50 a month. It's actually, I think, around 55, but the thing is, like, Patreon takes their cut. Which brings it down to just a little over $50, and being a Canadian, I have to have it go through a payment processing center to have it deposited into my bank account. So they take a couple dollars off that US as well, but I've got the money in the account, or in the Patreon account, and it's going to be paid out in the next few days, which is really awesome. There's already a few items that I have set aside on a online store. Got them in the cart, just waiting to get that money so I can order them. And it's really cool that people are willing to support the channel directly like that. I think it's really awesome. So with that in mind, one of the things that I'm going to do for those individuals, those people who are directly supporting the channel through the Patreon page, is when I'm recording my answers to the questionnaire that I have, I'm just going to put them together in 2 or 3 videos, and those will be made exclusive to anyone who donates on my Patreon. I decided to do this as opposed to having other videos be exclusive, like reviews or opinion videos or stuff like that, simply because this way it's still content that you'll get to see. It'll be on somebody else's channel, but you'll still be able to see everything. It's still going to be made available, but for those who are paying directly towards the channel, they'll have the opportunity to see the answers kind of ahead of time, and it'll be a chance to see them unedited, because I don't know how much will get cut out of specific answers or not. So anybody who donates at least $1 a month will be able to watch those videos, and like I said, all my subscribers will be able to see the full video once it's out on the GDR channel, and I'll let everyone know when that happens. So that's basically it for the updates. So now I just want to kind of show off a few of the things that I picked up here. Mostly one of the things that I really wanted to get back into was reading. A little while ago, I had the opportunity to kind of sit down and really do some reading, where I read, it was book 5 of the Sundering series, which I've had for a long time now, and The Sentinel, and it was a really great book. Really loved it, but I finally got a chance to read it, and so it just kind of sparked this need to want to go back and to start reading some novels. And I think it's especially important now that it's pretty much all but official that Wizards of the Coast is discontinuing their novels, their line of fiction, which is really sad, really disappointing. But they haven't announced anything new in quite some time. I don't think they ever officially axed the product line, but again, there's just been nothing new for quite some time, and not even any announcements of anything new coming in the next year or so. So that really kind of sucks. But like I said, I want to go back and do some reading, and my local chapters ended up actually getting a few books in that they hadn't had just recently. So I was really glad to see that, and I picked some of them up. So the first one I got here is The Fighters, Master of Chains. So this is by Jess LaBelle, and The Fighters was a series of novels, and I think this was the first one. So there was The Master of Chains, Son of Thunder, Ghostwalker, and Bladesinger. So actually what's also kind of cool is Jess LaBelle is also the world designer for the game Guild Wars, which I think is pretty cool. So it is technically a series. It's the only one that I have, but it's I think they're all standalone, so they're not deeply interconnected. It's just kind of a series that all revolve around fighter types, which I think is pretty cool. If there's any other one that I'd really like to get, I think it would definitely be Bladesinger, so that's something I'll be on the lookout for. But again, thought this was really cool. Once I saw it, it's like, yeah, I'm going to pick this up and hope to read it sometime in the very near future. I'm still in the process of reading Maestro by R.A. Salvatore, and then I'm going to read Hero after that, and then I'm going to get into some of these other books that I have sitting on my shelf. So, in addition to that, I picked up a series of novels that I've been trying to get for quite a while now. Not that long ago, we went to a store called Value Village, which is sort of like a thrift store, and they had them there, but they were beat up, and, well, not beat up, but they were well worn. And they were still charging, I think, $5 a book for it because of like the size and stuff like that. And when it comes to buying secondhand books, I really don't like spending a lot of money on it. I'd rather spend, you know, a few dollars more and get them brand new. So these are ones that I've been trying to get actually for a few years now. And what it is the Dragonlance Chronicle series. So all three books from that. So the first one is Dragons of Autumn Twilight. Second book was Dragons of Winter Night, and the third book was Dragons of Spring Dawning. So a little bit of a backstory. Dragonlance was actually the first campaign setting I ever bought for 3rd edition D&D. I have a lot of Dragonlance adventures, and it was recommended to me that if I do read any of the Dragonlance books, I should, or if I don't really not interested in the flavor of a lot of the Dragonlance books, that I should at least read these three because these apparently are pretty decent books. Now I have the movie, the animated movie of Dragons of Autumn Twilight, which came out a while ago, and unfortunately, they never made any of the other ones. I really wish they kind of would have finished off that series. But it'll be interesting to actually get through, read this book, and see how closely the movie matches up with the story in the first book. After that, knowing that the D&D novels are pretty well done, I wanted to get, because the only book that I had by this author was the Herald, which was the 6th and final book in the Sundering series. So that author is the father of the Forgotten Realms, Ed Greenwood, and I actually didn't own any of his books. So before I got that one, so you know, he had two more that came out before they kind of ended it all. So I've got them here. The first one is Spellstorm, and I thought the cover looked really cool. I actually did read a few pages of this after I picked it up. So it seems like the premise involves a search for what's called the Lost Spell, which is a spell that I guess gives the caster access to this unlimited pool of arcane energy, so they can cast as many spells as they want and never run out of energy to do so, I guess. So I thought I'd pick that up because, you know, it looks pretty cool. I did read a little bit of the Herald, so, you know, enough to really kind of get a feel for Ed Greenwood's writing style, and, you know, I like it, so I wanted to pick this up. And the last one that I have here for novels is Death Masks by Ed Greenwood. So this, I don't know if this is actually technically officially out yet in paperback. The hardcover's been out for a while now. I actually ordered this a while ago, back when the Chapter's online website gave me $5 off an order if I ordered, you know, on a particular weekend. And I did. This was available for pre-order, so I ended up pre-ordering it, and I actually had gone out, you know, into town the day that this, the notification that this was available came out, but I wasn't home to receive it, so I was out for about 3 or 4 hours. And then when I came home, checked my email, and sure enough, that was there. I was like, oh, and had to go back out and pick this up. One of the reasons that I actually really wanted to get this, aside from the fact that it's the last Ed Greenwood novel set in the Forgotten Realms, at least at this point in time, if they ever decide to pick it back up, is it features the Masked Lords of Waterdeep and the Jerry Holkins character Omen Drawn from the Acquisitions Incorporated series of videos from, you know, like the PAX live games, stuff like that. In that campaign, Omendron became a Masked Lord of Waterdeep, and I guess they made it officially canon. So, my understanding is that somewhere in this book there is a cameo, at least by that character. I don't think it plays a large part, but there is at least a little cameo of Omendron in here, which I think is going to be pretty cool. So I picked this up, and even if he's not in there, again, just to have the last Ed Greenwood novel set in the Forgotten Realms, at least for now, was something that I really wanted to have in my collection. Alright, so that's it for the novels. As far as the other things go here, I only have 3 other things that I kind of want to talk about. The first is a set of dice that I picked up, because you can never have enough dice. And this one here, so I picked this up at Giant Robot Comics as well, and this is called Blue Stars. So I just thought it was a really cool looking set of dice, where it's like kind of the black with different colored speckles. That was really cool. Didn't have any sets like this, so I ended up picking this up. The reason I'm actually showing this is because there's kind of a funny story behind this set of dice. So when I got to the store, I saw that they had, a whole bunch of dice just come in. So I asked if I could look at them. And this set immediately caught my eye. And I was pretty much right from the get-go going to buy it. But as I was looking, the D4 was not from the right set. So when they packaged this at the factory, one of the wrong D4s got in, and it was from, I think it was Cobalt or Electric Cobalt or something like that was the name of the set. So it was like a dark blue die with, I want to say, lighter blue flecks on it, and light blue numbers on it, and it stood out really bad. And the person working there, and hopefully I'm not going to get anybody in trouble by saying this, but the person working there, it's like, well, if I could offer you a little bit of a discount, if you buy it with the mismatched dice, and I just couldn't do it because my obsessive compulsive nature would come out at that point. When I go to play D&D, I always have some of my sets separated by the actual set themselves, and to have that one D4 sticking out like a sore thumb, I just couldn't do it. So they had a tub of loose dice that got emptied out on the counter, looked through all the D4s, nothing matched. Finally, she looked at some of the Chessex sets. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, this is from Koplau, and this is 10 die in the set. The Chessex ones only contain 7, so they only have 1d6 and then the rest of the types of dice. They just so happen to have a set of Chessex dice that looked exactly like this. So I took the d4 out of this tube, gave it to her, she opened up the other Chessex set, and put the d4 in here and just put the other dice kind of in the loose tray. So that was really cool. After all that effort, I had to buy this, so pick this up. Like I said, you can never have enough dice. So last 2 things that I want to get into here are some items that I picked up at a place called the Weekend Market in Dartmouth, and that's the name of the place. It's like a weekend flea market. It's indoor, so it's a dedicated building, and it's pretty cool. Like, I watched a lot of flea market videos, especially like the Flea Market Bandits, like Pat the NES Punk's channel, and I just really love sitting there and watching the things that he found in these flea markets, and it just really got me wanting to see if we could find one here. So that came up, and I wasn't really expecting much. I figured there'd be some like video games and books, clothes, stuff like that. But there was actually a seller there who had a lot of video game stuff, but he also had a collection of role-playing books. So there was some things like first edition books. So they had like Unearthed Arcana, the Monster Manual 2, and they had a copy of the Player's Handbook with the orange spine, so it has like the different artwork. I think with the wizard on the front, if I recall correctly. I was tempted to pick that up, but I didn't pull the trigger on that one yet. If it's still there, the next time I go, if I have some money, I'll pick it up maybe then. But I didn't really bother with that one yet. But the 2 things that I did end up getting on 2 separate trips. The first one I want to show here is my actually most recent purchase, and that is the Isle of Dread from the D&D Expert Rules. So I have now the Adventure Keep on the Borderlands that came with the basic rule set, and now I have the Isle of Dread, which came with the expert rules set. The only things that I need to get now would be the basic and expert rules. I'm missing that series of books from my collection, so I'm hoping to be able to find. I'm not really sure if I want to get like the expert, or not the expert, sorry, like the master rules, the companion rules, or the immortal rules. I think I just want to basically get the basic and expert, but you know, if I can find those, I'll have the adventures to go with them. So this is, it's actually in pretty good shape. Comes with like the pull-out maps. It also came with the color map here that was attached to the back cover there. You see it was perforated. And I picked this up for $5. So, you know, for $5, you know, it's in decent enough condition. The only thing that I kind of didn't like is the price sticker that was on there. Was one of those ones that doesn't come off easily. So I'm going to work at trying to get the rest of that stuff off at some point. Now, the last item that I have here, and I don't want to really use the term Holy Grail. I've heard like other collectors and videos, you know, say that they found like a Holy Grail item, and not to say that I don't have those types of items. I'm not quite sure that this qualifies, but it is a book that I've been trying to find for quite some time, and just could never find a copy of it. And that is the Living Greyhawk Gazetteer for 3rd edition. So this came out in 2000. And I have the D&D Gazetteer, which is this thin little booklet about the size of the Isle of Dread in terms of like page count. But this here is the more comprehensive setting book. Now this was, again, it says Living Greyhawk, so this was done for the RPGA, the Role Playing Game Association. It was part of their organized play where you had to make characters using a very specific set of rules, and you would go through and play, you know, specific adventures. And I want to say that the geographic region that you lived in dictated what part of the setting that you were actually in. I'm not 100% on that, so I'm not saying that's a fact, but if I recall correctly, that's sort of how it worked. But this is really great. This is basically the official campaign setting book for Greyhawk in 3rd edition, which was their default setting. So they never did like the hardcover book like they did for Forgotten Realms or Dragonlance. The only thing missing from this is that it doesn't have the map, unfortunately, but I do have the Greyhawk map that came with the Dungeons & Dragons Gazetteer, which is still set in kind of the same world, so it's still in the Greyhawk setting. And I also have a much older one with my Greyhawk folio. It's like the really old, I think, 70s version. So I have that as well, but this is something that I've been trying to get for quite some time. Picked it up for $20, which is pretty fair. That's what it seems to be going for. Actually, it's a little bit cheaper than what it seems to be going for on eBay, and then you got like shipping and handling stuff like that in there as well. So I was really happy to pick this to find this. So once I saw it, it's like I had to add this to my collection because I've been trying to find this book for a very long time. So anyway, that's it for that video. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to do a little bit of an update, let you guys know what's going on, and show off a few things. And hopefully I'll be able to get back to starting to record some more regular videos again in the next couple of weeks. So again, thank you guys very much for your support. You know, for your views, your subscriptions. For those of you that have contributed to my Patreon, again, thank you very much for that as well. I appreciate everything that all you guys do, and you know, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.